Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. First successful de-extinction of dire wolves executed. Pradhan Mantri MUDRA Yojana completes 10 years. Technology and Innovation Report 2025 released by UN Trade and Development. Central Pollution Control Board revises classification of industries. Government pushes for saline aquaculture hubs in Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. A groundbreaking moment in science and biotechnology. The first successful de-extinction of the dire wolf has been executed. This remarkable feat was achieved by Colossal Biosciences, which used a combination of cloning and gene editing based on two ancient samples of dire wolf DNA to birth 3 pups. Let's dive into the details. Instead of using traditional cloning methods, scientists adopted a less invasive approach. They used endothelial progenitor cells or EPCs, sourced from grey wolves, the closest living relatives of the dire wolf. These cells were then gene edited to match dire wolf DNA, marking the first successful de-extinction of the species, which has been extinct for over 10,000 to 13,000 years. And the work doesn't stop there. Colossal Biosciences is also making strides in reviving the extinct pink pigeon native to Mauritius. Their approach involves tapping into the fertilized egg of a pink pigeon to extract what are known as primordial germ cells or PGCs. These are embryonic precursors of sperm and egg, and they play a vital role in passing on genetic and epigenetic information from one generation to the next. To better understand the foundation of this achievement, let's take a quick look at what cloning really means. Cloning is a process of making an identical copy, and it generally falls into 2 types. The first is reproductive cloning, which involves the deliberate production of genetically identical individuals. A classic example of this is Dolly the sheep, the first cloned animal created in 1996. The second type is therapeutic cloning, also known as embryonic cloning. This involves cloning embryos for research purposes. Now, how is cloning done? The 2 primary methods are somatic cell nuclear transfer or SCNT and embryo splitting. Somatic cell nuclear transfer involves transferring the nucleus of a somatic cell into an enucleated egg cell. This reconstructed egg containing the donor's DNA is then stimulated to divide and develop into an embryo. The embryo is implanted into a surrogate, resulting in the birth of a clone genetically identical to the somatic cell donor. However, this fascinating field is not without its controversies. There are ethical issues tied to cloning. One of them is the commodification of animals, where cloning is seen as a violation of the principle of consent, treating animals as commodities for human use. Another concern is the violation of bioethics. Many view cloning as interference in the natural process of procreation. For instance, the production of designer babies with so-called desirable traits raises serious questions. And then there's a Kantian ethical perspective. According to the principles of end in itself and act others as you desire to be acted upon, cloning is considered unethical. So while the revival of the dire wolf marks a scientific triumph, it also opens up deeper discussions around the ethics of cloning and the future of de-extinction. In a significant milestone for grassroots entrepreneurship in India, the Pradhan Mantri MUDRA Yojana or PMMY has completed 10 impactful years. Now, what is this Yojana about? Launched in 2015, this flagship program of the Prime Minister was designed with a clear goal: funding the unfunded. It aims to provide loans, popularly known as MUDRA loans, to non-corporate, non-farm small and micro enterprises. Importantly, these loans come in the form of collateral-free institutional credit of up to 20 lakh rupees, and they're provided by what are known as member lending institutions or MLIs. To clarify further, MLIs include scheduled commercial banks, followed by regional rural banks or RRBs, then non-banking financial companies, and also microfinance institutions. Moving forward, the scheme categorizes loans into 4 types. The first is Shishu, which covers loans up to 50,000 rupees. The next is Kishore, meant for loans between 50,000 rupees and 5 lakh rupees. This is followed by Tarun, which supports loans between 5 lakh and 10 lakh rupees. And finally, there is Tarun Plus for loans above 10 lakh and up to 20 lakh rupees. Now turning to the achievements of this Yojana over the past decade. The scheme has ignited what is being described as an entrepreneurship revolution. It laid the foundation for a new era of grassroots entrepreneurship, with over 52 crore loans worth 32.61 lakh crore rupees sanctioned so far. In addition to this, there has been a remarkable rise in MSME funding. Lending in this sector surged from 8.51 lakh crore rupees in FY14 to 27.25 lakh crore rupees in FY24, and it is projected to cross 30 lakh crore rupees in FY25. Next, a major highlight of the scheme has been women empowerment. In fact, women account for 68% of all MUDRA beneficiaries, showcasing the pivotal role the scheme plays in promoting women-led enterprises across the country. Furthermore, the scheme has contributed significantly to financial inclusion. As it stands, 50% of MUDRA accounts are held by SC, ST, and OBC entrepreneurs. In addition, 11% of MUDRA loan holders belong to minority communities. And with that, we mark a full decade of the Pradhan Mantri MUDRA Yojana, a journey that has transformed the landscape of micro-enterprises in India and empowered millions through access to credit. Next, let's look at a significant development on the global tech front. The Technology and Innovation Report 2025 has been released by the United Nations Trade and Development or UNCTAD. This report lays out a crucial roadmap to ensure that artificial intelligence contributes to inclusive growth instead of worsening existing divides. So what are the key takeaways from this report? Let's begin with the potential of AI. According to the findings, AI is expected to reach a staggering $4.8 trillion in market value by the year 2033. Now, shifting to the impact on jobs, AI could influence as much as 40% of jobs worldwide. While this opens doors to productivity gains, it also brings valid concerns related to automation and job displacement. Moving ahead, the report highlights market dominance at both the national and corporate levels. It states that 40% of global corporate R&D spending comes from just 100 firms, primarily based in US and China. Adding to that, the US alone accounts for 70% of global private AI investment. With these facts in mind, what's the way forward for inclusive AI? The report outlines several strategies, starting with promoting AI adoption in developing countries. This includes redesigning AI solutions to align with locally available digital infrastructure, lowering skill barriers, and fostering international partnerships. Next, a worker-centric approach is emphasized. Here, job workflows and tasks should be rearranged to integrate AI effectively, ensuring workers aren't left behind. Adding to that, the role of governments is seen as pivotal. The report recommends that countries assess their national AI capacities across three key leverage points: infrastructure, data, and skills. And what about India? The report presents some interesting India-related findings. On the Readiness for Frontier Technologies Index by UNCTAD, India was ranked 36th in 2024. India also boasts a large talent pool with around 13 million GitHub or platform for open source projects developers as of 2023. In terms of government measures, the India AI mission launched in 2024 stands out, aiming to build an inclusive AI ecosystem. And to wrap up, a noteworthy case study. Tata Steel has implemented around 250 machine learning systems across various production processes, highlighting how Indian industries are embracing AI innovations.
The Central Pollution Control Board or CPCB has revised the classification of industries, a move aimed at better pollution management and control. In this new classification, a total of 419 sectors have been categorized into 5 groups: red, orange, green, white, and a new addition, blue. Let's take a quick look at the numbers. There are 125 sectors in the red category, 137 in orange, 94 in green, 54 in white, and 9 sectors under the blue category. Now, what is the basis for the classification? The CPCB has followed a revised methodology based on the pollution index, which was originally formulated in 2016. This index is now more balanced, with equal weightage given to pollution caused by water, air, and hazardous waste. Now here comes the interesting part, the key features of this new classification. The newly introduced blue category includes sectors that come under essential environmental services. These are facilities that help in the management of waste generated from domestic and household activities. So, what exactly are essential environmental services? They are basically those facilities that are essential to control, abate, and mitigate pollution from both domestic and industrial sources. A notable update is about compressed biogas plants or CBGs. Those CBG plants that use feedstock like municipal solid waste, agro-residue, energy crops, grass or weeds, basically materials with littering potential, may now be considered under the blue category. However, and this is important, CBG plants based on industrial or process waste will continue to remain in the red category. In terms of incentives, CPCB is offering them in the form of extension of permits for industries that successfully implement environmental management measures. Now, before we wrap up, let's quickly understand the criteria and examples for each category. Red category industries have a pollution index greater than 80. Examples include cement manufacturing, automobile manufacturing, and distilleries. Orange category falls in the range of 55 to less than 80 on the pollution index. This includes brick manufacturing, dry cell battery units, and coal washeries. Green category is for industries with a pollution index between 25 and 55, such as CD/DVD manufacturing and chilling plants. White category is the cleanest, with a pollution index of less than 25. This includes assembly of air coolers, cardboard manufacturing, and medical oxygen. And finally, the blue category, determined by the CPCB's formula, includes facilities like municipal solid waste management, facilities, sanitary landfills, integrated sanitary landfills, and sewage treatment plants. Moving ahead, let's talk about an emerging initiative that's making waves in some of India's northern states. The government is pushing for the development of saline aquaculture hubs in Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh. But what exactly is saline aquaculture? Well, it refers to the use of saline-affected lands, which are often unsuitable for traditional aquaculture, for inland saline aquaculture. And if you're wondering what aquaculture means, it is the farming of aquatic organisms including fish, molluscs, crustaceans, and aquatic plants aimed at enhancing overall production. So, why does this matter? The move is significant. It can generate employment, create livelihood opportunities, and boost aquaculture productivity by tapping into underutilized saline land resources. Let's take a quick look at the potential in India. Out of 58,000 hectares of identified saline land across these 4 states, only 2,608 hectares are currently being utilized. That's just a fraction of what's possible. And here's a big point. India is the second largest producer of cultured shrimp globally, and shrimp alone contributes to 65% of our seafood export value. That value can be even better realized through saline aquaculture. But despite the potential, farmers face several challenges. Let's break those down. Policy challenges include inadequate subsidy, high land lease rates, and a limitation on unit size to just 2 hectares. Input challenges consist of high setup cost, fluctuating salinity levels, and the absence of locally available high-quality seed. And then there are output challenges like the absence of proper marketing infrastructure and low market prices for the products. Now, what's being done to address this? Let's begin with policy reforms. The government has increased the area limit from 2 hectares to 5 hectares. Additionally, a national level committee has been set up to prepare a roadmap for sustainable saline aquaculture in the northern states. Moving on to marketing and infrastructure, there's a recommendation to establish an integrated aqua park in Sirsa, along with steps to improve marketing channels for aquaculture products. And finally, technical knowledge sharing is the major focus. States have been asked to leverage Krishi Vigyan Kendras or KVKs to identify new areas suitable for saline aquaculture and to conduct outreach-based research.
In today's Place in News, we turn our focus to Portugal with its capital, Lisbon. The President of India is currently on an official visit to Portugal. Now, let's look at some key facts about the country. Located on the west coast of the Iberian Peninsula, Portugal is the westernmost point of Europe. It shares its borders with Spain to the north and east and is bordered by the North Atlantic Ocean to the south and west. The country also includes two autonomous regions, the archipelagos of Madeira and Azores, situated in the Atlantic Ocean. Lisbon is one of Europe's oldest cities. Geographically, Portugal has a maritime temperate climate with cool, rainy conditions in the north and warmer, drier weather in the south. The Tagus River, flowing westward, divides the nation. Mountains dominate the north, while the south features rolling plains. The highest point in Portugal is Ponta do Pico, also known as Pico Alto.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. According to Ministry of Home Affairs, anyone registered under Foreign Contribution Regulation Act or FCRA needs to obtain prior permission for accepting any foreign contribution. The validity period for receiving foreign contributions shall be 3 years, and for utilizing the said contributions will be 4 years. Recently, Volatility Index or India VIX registered its highest single-day spike ever. India VIX is a measure of market volatility derived by the National Stock Exchange or NSE using data from Nifty options. Beta is a measure of a stock's volatility in relation to the overall market. INS Varsha under Project Varsha to be operational by 2026. Project Varsha is a classified naval project aimed at strengthening India's underwater nuclear capabilities. The objective of this project is to develop a secure underground base to house a fleet of over 12 nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines. China is constructing the world's first permanent undersea research station to study gas hydrates, a potential energy source larger than the Persian Gulf's oil reserves. Gas hydrates are crystalline solids composed of water and gas containing large amounts of methane. IIT Kharagpur has developed an energy-efficient graphene-based technology for effective oil-water separation, revolutionizing oil spill management. Graphene is a single atomic layer of graphite, which is an allotrope of carbon that is made up of very tightly bonded carbon atoms organized into a hexagonal lattice. Researchers from Indian Institute of Science or IISc Bengaluru have developed a Made in India organ-on-chip or OOC, currently imported by India, allowing them the study of fluid and drug interactions. Organ-on-chip is a small bioengineered device made of flexible polymers, mimicking the structure and function of a human organ on a micro scale. The alien or non-native beetle, the small hive beetle, was recorded for the first time in India in West Bengal. Native to sub-Saharan Africa, the SHB seldom causes harm in its native region but creates havoc across other regions. It is oval-shaped, reddish-brown in color and measures about 5 to 7 mm in length. Its life cycle comprises 4 distinct stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Rural Development and Panchayati Raj presented the report on impact of NSAP on the poor and destitute in the villages, recommending enhanced budget allocation and improved implementation. The National Social Assistance Program or NSAP, which was launched in 1995, is a 100% centrally funded, centrally sponsored scheme or CSS.
Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description.